I'm going live, and I'm just welcoming you all on, whoever wants to join, of course. I'm glad to have you here. We are going to do a little dive into practical things about energy medicine, and specifically using frequencies. I talk about it all the time. You guys have heard a lot about it, but you haven't heard some practical things. Like, how could you use this practically? How could you experience it? Hello, friends. I'm going live, and to join, of course. I'm glad to have you here. We are going to do a little dive into practical things about energy medicine, and specifically using frequencies. I talk about it all the time. You guys have heard a lot about it, but you haven't heard some practical things. Like, how could you use this practically? How could you experience it for the first time practically? And what does it do? What exactly happens? So I've got some friends joining me today that are going to share and explain some of the very practical experiences that they have had with this. So hey friends. And it's fun. I've been running back to back today. I just skidded right into this table here at True Foods. And I'm going to share from this spot. I love that we can connect anywhere, anytime. So I'm going to start by bringing in Heather and adding in, because we want to talk about. Actually, I'm going to bring in a few if you want to all hang out, because we're doing a live hangout. There she is. There's Heather.
Hey.
Awesome. Hi, Mindy. And Laura.
There we go.
Yes. Awesome. So, yeah, as I was just saying, we've got to share practical. We love to talk about frequency medicine, but what does it actually do? And we are all here, very excited for you all to experience this for yourself. The point, just like with anything good, anything powerful that you've had as a breakthrough, we don't want to keep this to ourselves. We want to help you, to help yourself, to help your family, and beyond. So that's why we're here. Honestly, all of us would be grounding outside, not on social media. We're here because we love you, right? Isn't that the truth?
That's true.
So I'll start with you, Heather, and Mindy and Laura, just as I'm seeing you on the screen. But I'd love to hear like some practical things that you've experienced using frequency medicine. And I'm just going to make this specific. We're talking about the AO scan, and it is frequency, like bioresonance technology that can be loaded onto this device that you're on right here. And that's what we're talking about today. So, Heather, what's it been like for you?
Yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about the first time that I experienced this frequency technology. And it was actually you had introduced me to this, and you had set up a playlist for me with some health issues that I've been having, some hair and skin issues, along with some lymph node stuff and immune health. And you said, okay, I'm going to broadcast these frequencies to your body. And we were at a distance, we were about an hour apart. And, these frequencies are going to come right to your body and affect your health. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's give it a try. It's kind of one of those things you've got to experience, to really see what happens. So, after that 20 minutes, I was really blown away. It was subtle, but I could tell that my body was being affected in a positive way. And I could tell that it was targeting the areas. You had put that playlist together for me and those specific things, and it was targeting those things in my body, and I could feel a difference. And so I was like, okay, I'm sold. I have to have this in my life. And I quickly started using it. And just two more quick stories. So I was using it then with a client at a distance. She was in another state, and I did a full body scan and optimization on her over Zoom. And she let me know within the next couple of days that about 24 hours after that scan, she passed a parasite. And it totally changed her health. Like that was what was blocking her, and that, was the issues that she was having. So just one scan and optimization made a huge difference for her. And then, yeah, another
I love
real
that.
practical tip where this is where having this on your phone is, it's like having a medicine cabinet where you can just grab whatever you need whenever you need it. I was at a restaurant and I was served the big hot fajita plate, and I was sharing it. So I went to push it in the middle of the table and my finger slipped and I hit the sizzling hot plate and my finger stuck to the plate. It was a pretty good burn. It started to blister immediately. It was
Ouch.
very painful. And so I thought, okay, there is a frequency for burns within this technology. I'd never tried it before, but I just grabbed my phone out of my purse, put on burns, and started broadcasting it right to my body. I didn't have to do anything else, put my phone back in my purse, went about dinner, and like 20 minutes later realized my finger doesn't hurt. And, that night I just kind of forgot about it until the next day I was in the shower. And again, with the hot water, I was like, it doesn't hurt. And my skin on my finger had to go through the healing process. It kind of calloused, and it had to heal, but I never felt any pain.
Wow.
So
Wow. I love
yeah,
that. I
yeah,
love that. And all you did was you found a frequency that said burns, right?
yeah. It
That's
says Burns General.
mm-hmm. And you just tapped on that. How long did you run that frequency? Did you say?
Well, I just put it on in my purse and went about with dinner. So it ran for about 20 minutes. And then I think I just let it keep going, actually, probably for a couple hours, even maybe just to make sure.
Yeah.
But, I never did feel the pain. So
It's
it was
so
amazing.
cool. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's just such a beautiful, practical example of a medicine cabinet at the touch of a button. Like, just literally the energies that we can just tap this button and then broadcast that. And then your body's absorbing that and
Yeah.
experiencing a shift in
Yes.
the symptoms.
Yeah. I love it for anything that I've got going on. I use it all day long.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you for sharing, Heather.
Yeah.
That's so great. Well, did you want to add anything else? Or we may just end up discussing things, but
Yeah, I mean, I could go on and on with testimonies, but I'll let somebody else talk.
okay. All right. Mindy, let's over to you. I know you had some great things to share.
So I used to be a director at a homeopathic medicinary that was associated with a homeopathic school. And so I was not new necessarily to frequencies or healing. That's what homeopathic remedies are, the frequency, the energy of the item, like Apis mellifica is honeybee. So I was used to that, but I was also used to having all of the vials, the little tubes, and all of the things. We had Bach flower essences, we had desert flower essences. Um, so I was used to always having like all these little vials, and it was a thing. Like, where do you find the little cases to have all the little vials so that you can take them all the places that you need to go? Because homeopathy is very specific, right? Like you want the match because it's frequency. If it's not a frequency match, the body doesn't care. It's just like it turns a deaf ear to it, right? And so to get the most benefit, you want the very specific thing. So when I came on board with the AO scan, we had a number of homeopathic remedies. We had flower essences. I love that. I could imprint it on the water. I didn't need to go search for bottles somewhere else. If I was anywhere else, I could I just had them. I didn't have to worry about packing them, and that to me was fantastic. And then I've been with the company for a little while, and without me paying anything, without me asking for an upgrade, one day I turned on my device and there were 300 additional homeopathic remedies at my fingertips, literally. I was like, oh, this is so good because you, could you walk into a health food store and say, I really don't know which one I need. So how about you just like give me 300 of these bottles and then I'll figure it out. Or to the people who are overwhelmed by homeopathy going, which one do I use? There's a scan button and it will tell you this is the list of things that match that symptom, and I'm going to scan, and it's going to give you the priority of the one that is most matched to you. I mean, it really doesn't get any easier than that.
It's so cool. And I want to ask, how much would it be if we tried to buy 300 homeopathy?
Oh, so as far as like the medicine world and buying pills, homeopathic remedies are quote unquote cheap because you might pay $8 for a little vial. And the nice thing about that is a vial could last you quite a long time as opposed to, a bottle of vitamins that might last you a month. But the problem is it needs to be the match, right? So I might buy that bottle for only $8, but I may never use it again in my entire life. And I used 4 pellets, right? But then I have it in my closet because I might need it again. And you don't know. But if I was going to spend, conservatively speaking, $8 a bottle, for 300 remedies, and the flower essences are $20 a bottle.
Yeah.
And we have 100 of them.
108 flower essence.
That goes, yeah.
It's amazing.
That goes really fast. And those, it only takes a couple of drops of those, but if you're using them more frequently, I've gone through bottles of those at a time, and so saves me lots of money.
Yeah, it's huge.
And I live in the sticks, so like I had something going on in my health before AO scan, and I did call up the homeopath buddy, and I was like, I need help because I don't know what to choose. And she sent me a bunch of remedies because Amazon doesn't even deliver in 2 days where I live. So it's like, where am I going to even get these? Like, I have to go online. I have to pay for shipping. I have to wait for it to come. This, I turn this thing on, push the button, ta-da! I get my bottle. I put it on there. I imprint, and I drink, and I'm good.
Yeah. It's amazing. Imprinting frequencies as needed, on the go. I mean, like, I can just do that right now with my drinks here. It's just so cool because, just like you said, I can scan myself to see what I need right now, do the drink, and then off you go. Getting the exact medicine we need. So cool. Yeah. What else? Was there something else you wanted to share?
Like Heather, just poke me enough and a frequency story will come out. But I do want to hear Laura's because her story was fantastic.
Yes, Laura's got a great story for us.
Okay.
What have you been up to with frequencies?
I started, like, my mom had got the scanner, and I basically stole her phone for like 3 days, or like I kept logging into her account from my phone, and she finally was like, Laura, you just, like, I can't even use it because you're using it so much. I was like, okay, I'll get it. But I was using it like, I was playing with it. It was very much like, I was like, okay, this is really cool. I'm going to play with it. And it wasn't until like a month into using my scanner that I was out on a date. It was like the 3rd or 4th date I had been with my now current boyfriend. But we were out for Canada Day. We were downtown. There was a band over here. There was a band over here. There was music coming out of the speakers up here. There was a live guy on the street doing karaoke. There was so much noise and so much stimulation. And my energy was just shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And I was just getting more and more overwhelmed, more and more overstimulated. I was just picking up everybody's thoughts and feelings. And we're sitting in this bar with like 10 of his friends that I had never met before. And again, I'm just getting so overwhelmed. My energy is just contracting in. I'm getting smaller. I am like trying to like text under the table to get a taxi because I just want to go home. I'm exhausted. I'm breaking down. I'm like on the verge of tears. We're inside and I'm like putting my sunglasses on. So this really cute guy that I really like can't tell that I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm going to start crying. And I'm texting my mother and I'm like, my mom's out of town. 2 hours waiting for a taxi. I'm getting ready to walk like the 2 hours home. I'm like, I'm just going to go because I'm too overstimulated. I can't handle this. I pick up my phone. This little voice in my head goes, run a scan. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, no, I just want to go home. And this little voice in my head's like, just run a scan. If you still want to go home in 10 minutes, you can go home. So, and I'm still fairly new to the scanner. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing yet. I'm basically just clicking and playing with buttons. And I go into quick scan and I see energy clearing and I see energy shielding. And I'm like, okay. So I run energy shielding. It's 30 seconds. And I'm like, oh, I feel a little bit better. I go into energy clearing, clearing, then shielding. I do shielding. I'm like, ooh, I'm feeling a little bit stronger. I'm feeling a little better. I'm like, let's play with one more. I go and I run the 3-minute grounding frequency. Okay, this is like maybe like 5 minutes total. And I swear I went from like on the verge of tears, like shrunk into myself, wanting to run away, wanting to leave, into like life of the party, commanding this entire table, like laughing, joking, like no longer picking up everybody's feelings, no longer feeling overwhelmed, no longer feeling overstimulated, just life of the party. And that was at like, I don't know, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I ended up staying until the fireworks at 10:30. Anytime I got overwhelmed in the crowd, energy clearing, energy shielding, grounding. I was just like, and I think I maybe did it like once or twice. But again, I went from being like, I just want to go home. I just want to curl up in my bed. I just want to fall asleep. Leave me alone for 10 days to I can go all night. I can go out dancing. I can joke around with these brand new people that I've never met before instead of feeling really uncomfortable. And from that moment on, I was like, I'm sold. I am sold for life. I am sticking with this thing forever. And it was less than 5 minutes. I went from on the verge of tears, wanting to run away, to life of the party. And anytime I get overwhelmed in crowds, I'm at the mall, I'm in traffic, energy clearing, energy shielding, the grounding. I now have it in a playlist, so if I need a little bit more, I can write it on continuous. But that sold me like 6 minutes, and I was a whole new person.
Huge, and we can all relate. I mean, who else has been in these crazy loud places and just felt total overwhelm or anxiety just creeping in, wanting to take over the whole night or even your body? And then that kind of shift on the go while you're sitting at the bar. It's so cool. I love it. I love hearing that. And that's what we keep echoing and hearing among our groups. Is like, that's part of the beauty of it. Right when we need it, we don't need to wait. There's no waiting period. There's no scheduling with your favorite practitioner or a wellness guru. No waiting, no having to sit through a session or something. You just tap a button. And that's the funny thing. I think sometimes it's almost too easy for people. Like, oh, I need to drive somewhere. I need to spend hundreds or thousands and then I'll be well. But what if it could be that easy for a fraction, for one session with one of those people, that you could have that many benefits? And I'll just share my little experience that got me started. You guys are reminding me of like one of those over instant type of experiences. For me, it was big because I had vertigo ongoing for weeks. I think it was almost over a month. And it would come on really strong and it would send me to the bathroom or to the bed. Those were my only options within 5 minutes of having this overwhelming feeling. And I got a hold of this doubting. I'm like, frequency medicine? To me, it sounded like crazy talk. But I'm like, I'll just try. I'll try anything because I'd already tried a lot of other things. So I'm just tapping a button daily for frequencies. There weren't even playlists. It was things like motion sickness, ears, inner ear balance. There isn't even one that's called vertigo, but I used it for my symptoms, and I ran that daily for 5 days. At the end of those days, I had no symptoms. I moved into the following months, no symptoms of vertigo. It was huge, huge. So it literally gave me my life back, and I'm like, all right, what else can this do? Let's just try. And for all of us, it just kept going from there, where, yeah, not only is it great for us, but we want it to be great for many more people. So we are, as a way of doing that, on July 1st, on Canada Day, we are going to do a launch of helping you experience this for yourself for 3 days. So whoever you know, because you're finding out about us going live, or this is being reposted, whoever you know from Instagram, reach out to one of us if you would like to experience this unlimited for 3 days. And we'll send you a link where you can sign up. Just send us a DM, all that kind of stuff. And if you're just like, you know what, I don't want to do 3 days, I want to do a 30-day trial, we can do that for, it's still for a really low price, but 30 days unlimited for you, your family, your pets. Yes, your pets, your house. You can broadcast sleep well over your whole house, over your whole neighborhood if you want. You can put them all to sleep. But it's just so cool what we can do, and we want to hold your hand through that. So we're going to host some videos for Q&A for those 3 days, so that you get it customized. And I did want to say, if you decide to do the 30-day, if you're like, you know what, 3 days, okay, 3 days goes really fast, I'm really busy in the summer, I want to do 30 days, I want to tell you, you guys are getting, to me, a greater value, because you're going to get a free session with each one of us, but we're going to help you customize that for yourself, like supporting you, giving you a daily routine so that you get your breakthrough. We want you to get your breakthrough so that you're like touching the button, wait, I don't feel I have a burn, or whatever it is. Unlike so many things, this isn't one thing. It's got like hundreds of symptoms it could affect. It has a sound therapy. There is lots of good stuff. Could y'all give an example of what they'll be able to do for those 3 days? Like, what would be something you would encourage them to do during those 3 days on the scanner?
I would say the inner voice. It's my favorite thing. It hits your mental, emotional, spiritual. It's like, to me, it's like hundreds of years of talk therapy without having to talk. It just releases and sheds layer after layer, and it's so beautiful, and it's customized to you using your voice, and it's probably my favorite thing is just you speak it 10 seconds, it scans your voice, it creates a custom track for you, and it clears your emotions, which then clears everything else. And it's just it gives me shivers every single time I listen to it, every single day, and it just makes me feel so clean. I don't know how else to describe it, but I'm just like, I literally feel just like years of just crap just leaving my body. It makes me feel so good.
It's so good. So good. I love it. Well, it is one of my favorites too. What's yours, Heather?
Yeah, I definitely would start with the sound therapy, but also going into the CEFIs, the frequencies, finding your symptoms or your root cause. You know, we've got other ways to get to the root cause of things, but just to get a quick experience, looking for those symptoms and, you know, trying it out for yourself, your kids, your husband, you know, like you said, the dog, whatever. But I would be running CEFIs on everybody.
So good. And it's so fun to, you know, we're like, okay, maybe you're human because they're aware of it. Maybe there's a placebo effect. Wait till you do the pets. Wait till you start with your kids, and your kids don't even know about it. Like, what happens? It's such a blessing, you know, to be able to support everybody. And then there's new ways Thank you. There's new ways to add, to do multiple at the same time.
Yeah.
It gets better every month. I mean, literally, it's hard to keep up with how much the technology progresses. But we start simple, like with inner voice, with just looking at some of the symptoms and trying to affect that. Mindy, what's something that you would say, hey, let's start on this during those
So
3 days?
for mine, I absolutely love inner voice. I would make it part of your bedtime routine with your kiddos. Mama, yeah. The second thing that I would say is because I love flower essences so much, they are like the subtle powerhouses. There is a button to scan, so you don't have to know anything about flower essences. You don't have to know a thing, but scan for the emotion. And why not stack it? Imprint your water with your flower essence and then go listen to your music. Don't be surprised if you cry. Don't be surprised if you're crabby and you take the headphones off and you're like, wait, I don't know what I was mad about. Or put the frequencies for your flowers in your kids' water bottles before they leave for the day or before they go to day camp or whatever, and just see. Maybe you don't have that meltdown in the car at pickup. Maybe you don't have lots of different things, but kids respond really well to flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I love it.
that's
Love
20
that.
seconds. 20 seconds. That's, yeah. Every mom's got
Yeah.
20 seconds.
Yes. Yes. Turn on the frequencies.
Yeah.
See what
This is to
happens.
avoid tantrums.
Yeah. It's so good. So good. And I was trying to think, what would I add? I would have someone do an easy scan. This is 3 scans in one. It's just hitting one button one time, and then it covers inner voice, it covers vitals. This is like blood biology, like getting a blood panel done, not just scanning, but optimizing, and then full reports. So if you want to dig into the info, you can look at that. And then after those 2, it goes into comprehensive. And comprehensive is like an MRI or a CT scan. It's going to get into the specific areas of the body that need extra support. Again, not just scan, but optimize as well, and then give you those reports. And I just like to hit that, and then afterwards, I imprint the homeopathics, like we were talking about, imprint that to my coffee usually. Decaf. Is that does that still count? It's still coffee. And then I've got my frequency coffee, frequency medicine, and off you go. So we want to help you do this for yourself at your home, in convenience for yourself. And we're going to do this at the beginning of July. So thank you so much for watching. If you guys stayed all the way to the end, again, like reach out to each one of us. Anything else you guys wanted to add before we sign off here? Am I missing somebody? I feel like I was supposed to add somebody else.
Kelly will join us next time.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Great. Yeah, we're going to share again next week. Ding. There's that little pop up. But we would love to help you experience this for yourself. So thank you all for being here, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.